Alright, for question one, I noticed how the play used interviews as the source of its story. This was very interesting to me as I've never seen a play set up like this before. The play would cut in and out with interviews of characters and then explanations of those characters. I also found it meaningful that the play tried to tackle the subject of homosexuality, and also found it meaningful that the playwrights are also characters in the play. And then for question two, the difficulties of living as a homosexual and homophobia are both perspectives that are being represented in this theatrical world. The difficulties of living as a homosexual are shown by the several gay characters who were interviewed. The difficulties were specifically highlighted when Jonas Sloniker was interviewed, who mentioned that some gay people who grew up in Wyoming left due to the homophobia found in the state. Homophobia is shown by how the town will be fine with gays if they do not bother them. It is also shown by how some members of the town refuse to admit that Matthew's murder was due to a sexual orientation. Another perspective that is shown in the theatrical world is community. This is shown with how the members of the community deal with the media coverage they are receiving. Some members of the town despise the media coverage while some like it as it reveals the struggles that they have been dealing with in the town. Question three. Something that I had to research while reading the play was the symbolism of the fence. After research, I found that the fence was used to symbolize both violence and redemption. This helps to bring the world of the play together, as the fence was where Matthew was killed. The fence also becomes a place of grief. People will come to the fence and think of Laramie's fight against bigotry and of how the town could possibly recover after it. Question four. Laramie is a town with a strong sense of community and acceptance, but a town that is not accepting as it appears to be. There's a difference between tolerance and acceptance. The town preaches its tolerance and that they have nothing wrong with gays if they do not do anything to disturb them. This is much different than acceptance, as acceptance means that they will be accepting of gays even if they do little things that annoy the townsfolk. I think the Tectonic Theater Project wants us to walk away with the knowledge that all things that appear good and pleasant may not be on the inside. I think the events of the play could happen in Columbus, as there's a possibility of people living with dangerous ideologies anywhere. And then question five, one example of an element from the Laramie Project that sets it apart from more traditional plays is that they're using character interviews in the play. Most plays that I've read do not use character interviews. Another example of an element from the Laramie Project would be the theater company members also being characters in the play. Another example would be of how the audience is able to make their own decisions of what the play was supposed to show in the end. And then for question six, one question I have is, do you think the events of the play would be different if it took place at an earlier time? And my other question is, why do you think the play would convey, or do you think the play would convey a similar message if the issue of homophobia switched to something like race?